and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I'm Anna, your host. I'm also an author, a retired school teacher. I'm old and I have to write all this stuff down. A retired school teacher, a jury consultant, a health and wellness consultant, and I'm also a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. Each week, each episode, we dive into topics that enrich our life, from educational and personal development to health and wellness. And of course, we cannot leave out the art of jury. I do this by providing workshops, also speakers, as well as just knowledge, people who are knowledgeable. I'm not knowledgeable in everything, so sometimes I uh, uh, invite guests who have interesting topics or things that will enlighten our lives so it makes us live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. So join me as we explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live that blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. Thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So come on, let's get started. We're going to take a brief commercial, and then when we come back from that commercial, we're going to dive into the sacred pause, finding God in stillness. And believe me, you can best to believe that some of these things you're already doing. You just didn't realize it. So let's take that commercial. Oh, just before we go to commercial, we have a few people who are saying hello. We have Kaylin Scott said hi. Oh, this is so sweet. God bless you. And God bless you too. It is Christmas Eve, you all. Oh, thank you so, so much. It's Christmas Eve, and this is a time where we really and truly need God in our lives, okay? So let's take that brief commercial real quick, and then we'll be right back.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
All right, we are back, and I am Anna. I am your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And where we inspire, encourage, and empower people to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. We want to empower you to live with purpose, faith, and intention. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about intentional joy. Today's episode, or tonight's episode, is one that so many of us need in this busy, constantly moving world. Seriously. The world is just moving like this. When we were younger, the world moved slow. But now, as we get older, the world looks. I can't believe that we're in December already. That this year, 2025 has passed. It's over. Okay, and there has been some ups and downs, some joys and some sadness. And so we're walking So we're talking about sacred pause, the holy moment when you stop, you breathe, and you create space for God to speak, to guide, and refresh your spirit. If your heart has been feeling overwhelmed, stretched thin, or spiritually tired, this episode is your invitation to rest. All right, so I have a little presentation. I always have a slide if I'm doing it by myself. If I have a guest, I don't have slides. So we're going to talk today about sacred pause, finding God in stillness. And thank you so much for Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to everyone who is on this evening. And I'm hoping that this will help those who are listening. So, sacred pause, finding God in stillness. And let's move on. What is sacred pause? Do you know what that is? A sacred pause is more than a break. It's more than silence. It's more than stepping away. A sacred pause is an intentional moment where the quiet noise around you and it's where you quiet the noise around you and you let your heart tune into God. Let me repeat that. A sacred pause is an intentional moment where you quiet the noise around you and tune your heart into God. It is a moment of listening, a moment of surrender, a moment of release, a moment of realignment. It is saying, Lord, I'm here. Speak to me. And I know you all have done this, especially when you might do it when you're troubled. You know what I'm saying? Or something, and you just, it's quiet, and you say, Lord, I need your help. I know you do this. If you're religious inclined, you know, like I said, I'm Christian, so I have a faith, and I believe in it. So, the sometimes, what I was just going to say, sometimes we struggle with stillness. And the reason that we struggle with stillness is because we live in a world that values motion. Move here. We have busy schedules. We have to have our calendar full. We have endless responsibilities. Most of us was taught how to push, how to work, how to hustle, but not how to be still. Now, I don't know about you, but in my culture, the Black America, we are taught to be still, but it is not in relationship to this, somewhat. So, like when we're in church, they teach you to be still. They don't want you, moving and joking. The children, when you're growing up, okay? It's a little bit different now. But the truth of it is, busyness can drown out the very voice we need to hear. Sometimes the real blessings is not in doing more, but in stopping long enough to feel God's presence. Yes. Okay, let's move on. So the spiritual power of stillness. I think that we'll take a commercial and then come back and go over that. That's what we'll do. Whew. All right, we're back. I'm Anna. I'm your host of the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, Sweet Blessing. And we were talking about finding God in stillness. And by stillness, we mean being still and listening. So, the spiritual power of stillness. Stillness is not emptiness, it's an encounter. In the quiet moments, clarity rises. When you're quiet and you're just sitting back and you're thinking, you get clarity. Your peace returns. Wisdom becomes clear. If you had anxiety, it kind of settles down. Your strength is renewed. And guess what? God will whisper directions. So, I always have like a Bible scripture or something like that. So, we're going to take a look at Psalms 46, verse 10. And so, what it says is that, be still and know that I am the God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. Let's think about that. What is it saying? What is it saying? What does it mean? It's a reminder to trust in God's ultimate control, to cease striving and worrying, and to recognize His sovereignty and power over all the world's troubles, offering deep comfort and a call to spiritual centering. That's powerful. That verse is very, very powerful. So, stillness, excuse me, is not inactivity. It's an act of trust. And I know if you're a Christian, it says trust in the Lord. It is an act of trust. What you do is you stop reaching. You start reacting and you start responding with grace. You step out of your survival mode into a spiritual alignment. So when you pause with intention, sometimes something shifts. When you pause with intention, something shifts. You begin to hear God more clearly. You recognize what truly matters. You release what you have been carrying around. You reset your emotions. You protect your mental and spiritual health. Just like I said, just stop reacting and start responding with grace. You step out of that survival mode and you get into spiritual alignment. And I do believe that this is what we need during this time. We really need it all the time. But we truly, truly need it during this time of the year. You know, sometimes you think that you're going to get out of showing grief. You know, I've talked many times about my mom, and, you know, she died in 2021. And, you know, each year it gets better, but you never get over it. And so, you know, sometimes death comes around Christmas time, and I hate to say that. And I was thinking to myself, Lord, you let me get out of this Christmas. But I swear to God it didn't happen. So a good friend of mine passed away. I'm devastated. We go back all the way back to college days. So I'm saying this to say, you got to learn to create your own sacred space. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, let's go to commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Excuse me. All right, we are back. And those are some of my affiliates. Soul Lady Wigs. I do wear their wigs. I love their wigs. I would have on one this evening, but it is very, very hot. And I don't know what it is, but I think I'm going through my own personal summer. So as we left to go for commercial, I told you when we came back, we were going to talk a little bit about how to create your own sacred pause. So let's talk about that. How do we go about that? Well, there are three, I guess you could say, three ways to make space for God daily. And one of those is called the 1 minute stillness. And you just sit quietly. You close your eyes. You breathe deeply. And you say, God, I'm listening. Every 1 minute, or every 1 minute, can reset your spirit. Even though it says even 1 minute. But if truly, whether it's even 1 minute or every 1 minute, can reset your spirit. So this is called the 1 minute stillness. Just sit quietly, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let it out. And say, Lord, I'm listening. So let's look. What is remember I said it was three. Let's look at the second one. Scripture meditation. You don't have to read a whole bunch of scripture. Just choose one scripture. Read it slowly. Let every word sink in. Here's some suggestions. We just did Psalms 46, the 10th verse. And Isaiah I've done also earlier, 40:31. Matthew, these are just suggestions. But you want to let the words wash over you. You want those words to wash over you. So, I think it's Malachi Price says, hi, hey, hello, how are you? And thanks for watching and coming on. Very glad to have you. I hope this is a subject that is very interesting to you. Also, number 3, let me go back. I done flipped too high. Micro Sabbaths. And what we're doing is we're talking about how you can create your own sacred pause. So the third one is micro Sabbaths. Give yourself short moments throughout the day. Now, I know you do this before a meeting. How many of you pray before a meeting? Oh, God, please let this meeting go right. I know you do that. Before responding to a text. Now, if it's, if it's someone that has irritated me, then I must pray before I answer that text. Because I might say something I don't want to say, or I might regret. So, before responding, before making a decision, which is hard for me because I hate to say that, but I'm a Libra, and we have a hard time making decisions. We got to look it up, down, all around, in, out, But when we make the decision, it is the final decision. So just a few seconds of stillness can shift the entire tone of your day. Seriously. Let's go on. Let's do a little reflection. So, we're almost at the end of this podcast. And I feel like there's some few things that you really need to reflect on. All of us need to reflect on. So I want you to reflect on this question. Where in my life is God calling me to slow down so he can speak? Is it in my morning routine? What about your evening? What about in your relationships? What about your emotions? What about your responsibilities? Your sacred pause might just become your sacred breakthrough. I'm going to repeat that one. Your sacred pause just might become your sacred breakthrough. So we're going to take another brief commercial, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to summarize it all up in a closing. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
All right, thank you for coming back. I'm back, and I'm Anna. I'm your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And tonight we're talking about finding God in stillness. Um, we just finished up talking about um, where in our life is God calling us to slow down so He can speak. And we listed the different areas that's possible. There could be more. We don't know. But I just want to say this. There's my little thank you up there. But in closing, I want to say thank you for joining me for today's episode of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. My prayer is that you embrace the power of the sacred pause, not as a luxury, but as a spiritual lifeline. God is speaking. God is guiding. God is waiting to refresh your soul. Share this episode with someone who needs permission to slow down and breathe again. Until next time, keep shining, keep growing, keep living a life full of sweet blessings. I also want to leave you, I always leave you with my 3 L's, because I do believe that they are the epitome of what life is all about. And the first one is to live. You want to make sure that you live your life to the fullest. The second one is to laugh. By all means, put laughter into your life. And please don't forget to laugh about yourself. Okay? You funny. You know it. And then the third thing is to love. Make sure you love with all of your heart. Everyone. But I'm going to tell you right now, the most important person that you need to love is yourself. Self-love is so important. So with that, I am going to wish you all a very, very Merry, Merry Christmas. And thank you so much for joining me this season on Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.